Hello and welcome everyone to another exciting edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Joined in the booth with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. This is Kevin Harlan. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. First for the Spurs, Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man Tiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4 slot. And then for the Miami Heat, Chalmers and Dwyane are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Bosh. And it's LeBron James, and it's Haslam in at the 4 spot.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
Now, here's Chalmers. After the miss from Haslam, Bosh can't hit.
Excellent. Really solid job, actually, by the defense to get in his way as he was going up for that one.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, earlier I had a chance to speak with Greg Popovich. We talked about the strategy as it applies to D-Wade. He said Dwyane can score at will when he gets into a rhythm. So our job is going to be prevent him from getting into that rhythm in the first place. Because if we can't do that, the points will just pile up. Most opponents are completely aware of that, guys.
And thank you, Doris. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time, the whistle blowing. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players and have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
You know, if there was no salary cap, no max contract in the NBA, you'd have to wonder what LeBron James would command for his salary. I mean, he clearly is worth more than the maximum you can pay him because he's so far ahead of everybody else in the league in terms of talent. I think Kevin Durant is probably the only one who comes close to him in terms of a guy of that size and that ability.
Well, the number one priority for a defense when you face this guy is to keep him getting anywhere from the basket because he's just so strong as a finisher.
And let's give him some more credit where more credit is due for his role as a team leader. I mean, he's somebody who brings out the best in his teammates whenever he's on the floor.
And going back to the topic of max contracts, if those were higher relative to the cap, it might be harder to assemble the big 3-star trios we, for instance, see in Miami.
And, Kevin, I think that's where we're heading with the new CBA. It's going to be more and more difficult to put 3 max guys together. And so teams are kind of working their way through this new CBA, trying to figure out how they're going to structure their payrolls going forward.
Here's Parker, following the basket by LeBron James. Parker drives in. Green up on top. The shot is off. Now the Heat take it the other way. And it's Wade with the jam.
Some hang time on that rim. Put a little whipped cream on that angel food cake there.
It's a tight ball game, and those displays of strength, Clark, can get one team rolling.
Agreed.
Oh, boy. Whipped cream, cherry on top. It always comes back to dessert for Clark. Well, if you're going to learn from someone, you might as well take some lessons from Tim Duncan. That's what Tiago Splitter has done in San Antonio, really kind of growing up under the tutelage of one of the great players of all time.
And he knocks down the first one. And Splitter taken 28th by the Spurs way back in the 2007 draft, but they had to wait 3 seasons, Clark, for him to come over from Spain. And as Greg Popovich was saying just this past season, he's finally showing what he can do because he's been healthy.
Yeah, agreed, Kevin, and I think it was a wait worth making, quite honestly. I mean, one of the premier backup centers in the NBA the last 3 seasons, and he earned himself a nice payday with his new contract, too. Only 3 teams in the entire Eastern Conference had a better than 500 record against the West, and no surprise the Heat were one of those 3, and They were dominant against Western Conference opponents all year long.
Now here's Parker. 5 points in the game. Parker right side. Back to Leonard. Duncan left side. Kicks it out to Leonard. Spurs working the ball around now. Parker drives in. Gets it to go. Parker's got 7 points in the game. Mark, adding on to what you were saying about the Heat versus the West, they ended up 25-5, which is incredible, Steve, given how many tough teams that are in the Western Conference.
That's amazing, Kevin. They had a better record against the West than they did against the East in terms of their winning percentage. So I think that speaks to just how motivated Miami was when they went out on the road to the West in particular to really show everybody how good they were.
Wade gets the bucket.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Parker kicks to Splitter. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker.
Well, I tell you what, Greg Popovich, a really impressive leader for the Spurs. He's able to keep all of his players locked into what's best for the team. Has a military background, played basketball and studied at the Air Force Academy before serving 5 years in the Air Force. And you know some of the leadership that he brings to his position was learned from his past experiences.
Oh, here's Parker. He's got 7. He dishes it to Green. They get a hand on it. Parker passes to Green. 6 to shoot. Leonard kicks to Parker. Lets it go with the 3. It's hauled in by LeBron. And Clark, you mentioned Pop's time at the Air Force Academy. That's where he got his start in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, 6 years as an assistant there. He's head coach at Pomona, an assistant coach with both the Warriors and the Spurs, and eventually moved into the front office in San Antonio. But wow, what an amazing run it's been for him. 17 years as the head coach of the Spurs.
Here's Parker. Following the basket by LeBron James. Backing him down is Duncan. Off target with the jump hook. The Heat with the lead. Chalmers dishes to LeBron. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. LeBron's got 7 points in the game.
Great looking bounce pass to set up that play.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
And it's slammed in by Splitter.
Boy, taking it hard to the rack for the big throwdown.
And give an unofficial assist, Clark, to his teammate for setting the screen that freed him up.
Yeah, good call, Kevin. That was really the key to the play.
Now here's LeBron. He's got 7. No good. Excellent defense there from Tiago Splitter. Parker outside. Duncan kicks to Green. It's Parker with the drive. Leonard. And it's good on the assist by Parker. Leonard's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Makes the lead pass. And Green slams it in.
Well, this is how you completely rattle an opponent's rhythm.
Yeah, you know, such terrific on-the-ball defense to trigger the transition opportunity.
And it wasn't just the tough D, it was the exclamation point they put on the fast break with the slam.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And that's the play we're going to remember when this game is all said and done.
Well, it's been a high-scoring, competitive game. Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Spurs.
And the points they're getting in the lane will really help them open up the floor.
Also, what passing we've seen from them here early. I mean, there could be a big number in the assist column if this keeps up.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, as you know, gentlemen, Greg Popovich is one of the foremost practitioners of the intentional fouling that sends poor free throw shooters to the line. Not exactly a fan favorite, and Pop says, quote, I think it's ugly, I think it's awful, but it's legal, it's there. If somebody doesn't want to get hacked, they should shoot free throws better. Guys, he's all about winning. Whether it's pretty or ugly, he doesn't care.
They wear you down, Doris. Thank you so much. Here's Cole. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
It's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint. I guess the good news is they've taken away the outside shot.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how good their perimeter defense is if they're going to allow inside looks as easy as that. And as you might expect for the team with the second best record in the West, the Spurs dominated the East last season, played each team twice for a total of 30 games, and went 25-5 in that stretch.
Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. Cole's got 5 points in the quarter.
Beautiful lead pass there. He let his teammate run right underneath him.
Tipped. In transition, here comes Miami. Here's Allen, and Parker with the block. Kicks to Ginobili. Parker outside. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And Clark, back to what you said about the Spurs in the East, it was far and away the best record against the conference, Steve, for a team in the West.
Yeah, the second best record was Memphis with 22 wins. So kind of scary to think that they rested their big stars a few times against teams in the East, and they were still able to put up that kind of a record.
And Boris Diaw picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Just about a minute and a half has gone by here in the second. Here's Cole, and Parker with the block. And here comes Bellinelli leading the fast break. Looking for Ginobili. He gets it there. Bonner passes to Diaw. And Ginobili. Here we go.
And another foul would give him 3 before the half, something to keep our eyes on.
And he draws body contact. Looked like a blocking foul, and he was in the shooting motion. So he'll head to the free throw line.
You know, no denying it's been a heck of a run the last few years for the Heat, but you can't help but wonder if the impending 2014 summer of free agency could be the end of it all. The big three came together in a flash of lightning, it seemed, but it could end just as fast if one or all decide to opt out.
And Boris Diaw picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. It's LeBron with the drop.
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, you know, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, it's startling that he'd even try that right now. Well, LeBron is far enough along now in his career where you can start to project some of his career stats, and they're staggering. I mean, he could end up the first player ever to end up with 30,000 points, 10,000 assists, and 10,000 rebounds. I mean, that's remarkable.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Ginobili dishes to Bellinelli. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. He'd have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. LeBron kicks to Allen. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. Allen's got his first 2 points. And when you talk about LeBron's ability to pile up stats, whether it's scoring, rebound, or passing, Parker, he can do it all.
He really can. He's dominant in every facet of the game. And we love his durability and his stamina. He is a stat sheet stuffer supreme. And that's the highest level of stat sheet stuffing you can have. And he's at the pinnacle of the peak.
Well said.
Well, what a series it was in the finals a year ago. Such great basketball. 2 teams that like to play up tempo. And I'll tell you, the Spurs had Miami. They had the series in the bag. They were 1 play away from wrapping it up in Game 6, but the miracle comeback from the Heat that led to the Game 7 victory and another title for the Miami Heat.
Off his foot, and it's whistled a kick. Chris Bosh has checked in for Miami. Ginobili with the 3. San Antonio again missing. Clark, it was interesting because the games themselves weren't particularly close through the first half of the series, but things started to get really tight when they left San Antonio after Game 5.
How about that, Kevin? You talk about things tightening up. We had a game for the ages in Game 6. 28.6 seconds to go. The Spurs +5. Miami needed a miracle, and they found it in the form of timely three-point shooting and got some help from the San Antonio Spurs missing some free throws.
The Game 6 was about as intense an NBA game as you'll ever see.
Oh, it was off the charts. Absolutely fantastic.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Yes, gentlemen, for Tim Duncan, there was a time a few years back when his left knee really limited him. He said, quote, physically, I just couldn't do it. But my pain level's down a whole lot. I found something that works, and health-wise, I feel really good. Coach Popovich on Timmy's resurgence said, quote, he's a mentally unique individual in that he's able to sustain the year-round workout regimen, both physically and diet-wise. And guys, we've seen it in action. Last season was one of Duncan's best.
A little insight into his legendary work ethic. Much appreciated, Doris.
You know, Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra worked his way up from the very bottom in that organization. I mean, he got his start as a video coordinator, and through years of hard work and dedication, has really become an outstanding coach.
Tim Duncan, he's checked in for Matt Bonner. For Miami, they've gone 7 of 9 in their field goal attempts here in the second quarter. Pretty good offense. And Cole kicks to LeBron. He feeds it to Cole. Back to LeBron. He passes to Cole. Left side Bosh. Clock at 6. Fader on the way. No luck. Excellent D there from Boris Diaw. And back to Coach Eric Spoelstra. As a guy who got his start as a video coordinator, picking the game apart. Steve, he's very comfortable with the new advanced stat movement, analytics in the NBA.
Yeah, and I've had a chance to speak with him quite a bit. He says that the way they use advanced stats is just as a conversation piece in the coaching room. Their analytics department will bring them various information, and it will force them to ask questions, which is very healthy for a coaching staff to do.
Splitters checked in for Boris Diaw.
It is so hard to contain. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
Parker drives in. Splitter. And it's good on the assist by Parker. Parker's got 5 assists in the game. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. And Cole kicks to Battier. Dishes it to Allen. There's the pass to Cole. And out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession. San Antonio's gotten half their shots from three-point range to go down in the second quarter. 3 of 6 from downtown. Parker passes to Leonard. Back to Parker. Outside, Green. Got it up. He nailed the buzzer beater.
Right between the eyes is how you would say it, Kevin. Fearless. What a...
Now, presented by Sprint.
And we play 2 quarters out at American Airlines Arena, and a great game is in progress for our halftime show.